Hello, welcome to a Flight Sim Show 2018 special video where I'm going to be talking about my day last week at RAF Cosford for the Flight Sim Show, as I said, thanks to JustFlight and PC Pilot. So I'm going to be talking about my day there, as well as having some footage up on screen of X-Plane, I guess, some videos or some pictures from the actual museum area itself. So there's a couple of the hangars that are out there in the museum area, and on top of that I will have some interviews with some of the people that were there. So I took some interviews, so I'm going to be putting them up for you guys to watch. So these people were kind enough to take some time out of their day to speak with me to give you guys some information. So make sure you stay tuned for the next, I suppose, about 5 or 10 minutes of me talking. And I'll put some video up of X-Plane 11 as well, I guess. But it's 5 or 10 minutes of me talking, and then I'll go into the reviews. So roll the intro. Okay, so the Flight Sim Show. Of course, the Flight Sim Show that was on at RAF Cosford was on the 6th of October, so that was 1 week ago on the Saturday, and there were a lot of people there. So we had some people making models, some people with drones, some people with virtual communities. There were also some people with obviously the simulators themselves, new titles, simulators, VR, add-on developers, so on and so forth, hardware developers. A couple of sims were set up there, not full level sims, but definitely some sims that people could use and sit in and try out. So some A320s, I think there were a couple of ones there, as well as a number of other people, and of course RAF personnel, they're always there. And in fact, a few things that we noticed there this time was there was a lot more families, which was really nice to see. A lot more girls in general, so that's quite nice to see. It's not just males that are going to these places. A lot more elderly people, whom I later on found out were RAF World War II veterans, a number of them. And so they were wandering around this place looking to see what at a base, maybe at a base where they were based in World War II. Cosford is still an active RAF base, but to have perhaps these people who may have been based here during World War II wandering around the hangars, maybe looking at some of their old aircraft, and also looking around to see whether they can get their experiences now from the sim once again. Because of course they can't fly their aircraft anymore, so they're looking for them in the sim. So that was really, really nice to see. But a number of people that I spoke to included JustFlight themselves. I have an interview with them. You'll see that in a little while. Flight Sim PM, I might put an interview with him up, or one of the people that were there. They do some hardware, which is quite interesting to see. Laminar Research, unfortunately no interview with them. They were very busy, but I'd like to speak a bit about them. And of course X-Plane. Aerosoft were there, didn't get to talk to Aerosoft. ProSim Aviation Research, no interview with them, did manage to speak with them, might be showing one of their products at some point. Orbx, got to speak with Orbx as well, so I'll be talking a little bit about TrueEarth, which by the time you see this video should be either just being released or just about to be released. Project Fly were there, didn't get to talk to them. Number of PC manufacturers as well, such as Chill Blast. Wired to Fire, I think, was another one that was there. So these people were there as well. We had Flight Sim Labs, which are doing more with Flight Simulator 10. The XM655 Maintenance and Preservation Society. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about them as well. Fulcrum Simulator Controls, got an interview with them for you guys to look at. Infinite Flight, unfortunately I did not get to see. FS Reborn, got an interview with them. IVAO, unfortunately not. Track Hat, which is an alternative, I'm getting my words mixed up here, alternative to Track IR. There was the virtual flight experience. Jetstream Radio, so there's a radio station there as well. Remix Software, got a lovely interview with Chris Cheetham from there. We had some more computers. BA Virtual were there. And Aviotech Simulation Software, I'm looking forward to trying out some of their products as well. And some little micro drone thing that was actually up there, which I might actually put a link in the description box for this micro drone, which was really, really interesting. Should be starting up on Kickstarter anytime soon. So without further ado, let me talk a little bit about some of those that I'm not going to have an interview on. So I spoke to Laminar Research and of course with the guys on X-Plane 11, and they were really helpful for me because I was speaking about a few problems that I've been having with my setup in X-Plane. One of them being on the pitch axis on my flight controller. I pull up and it's not very natural. It doesn't feel very natural. It's very sudden, and they were really kind, and they explained to me why it's doing this. And also with X-Plane 11.3, which should just have come out, and I will be doing a video on this next Wednesday if it has come out, so you're going to see this, how they've got a new way of setting up your flight controls, your pitch axis, your yaw axis, your rudder axis, which is a lot more refined, higher fidelity, and just a lot more refined in the way you make these curves. So you'll be able to fine-tune your equipment so that it doesn't work suddenly, it doesn't pull up suddenly, it doesn't push down suddenly. Especially, like I said, my problem was the actual pitch axis that's causing me a problem. Rudder I'm okay with, and also I'm okay with the roll axis, so that's not a problem. Ailerons, rudder, not a problem. It's the elevator that has been causing me problems. So they taught me, or they showed me what to do and how to go through that, which is really nice of them, and I will be showing that off. On top of that, I got to try out one of their X-Plane 11, of course, with the T1A Hawk. So that's the JustFlight Hawk. I got to try that out in virtual reality. They had a computer set up there and they let me go on that. They set me up with the Hawk, they set me up with a nice airfield, and I got to fly around with this Hawk in virtual reality. And let me just tell you, X-Plane 11 virtual reality T1A Hawk, a little bit sickening. It does feel a little bit sickening, I will admit that, because at one point I decided, you know what, I'm going to do what the red arrows do, fly the aircraft upside down. Flip the aircraft upside down, your mind goes, you're upside down, you're looking around and you're thinking you're upside down, the ground is above me, your body's going, no you're not, you're still right way up, what's going on, you need to throw up. So it is a little bit sickening. It does take you a little while to get used to it, but it was a really incredible experience in VR. I've never flown X-Plane 11 in VR, and I've definitely never flown a military jet in VR, and it's really nice, and it felt very natural, very realistic. So again, props to both X-Plane there, and also props to JustFlight on that. So thank you very much to Laminar Research for letting me do that. Also had a chat with Orbx, and they do have their TrueEarth England coming out, and the way it's coming out is it's coming out in 3 stages. So you're going to have the south, and then they're going to have the middle and the north. So each one, I can't tell you the price because I wasn't too sure of it at the time, but I do know that each one's going to be quite substantial in size in terms of hard drive space or storage space that you require. So do be prepared for that. And I did get to try out the actual demonstration of TrueEarth England, and I flew over the Midlands, I flew over London, and it really is quite nice. It really is quite nice. What I really liked about it is, as I'm flying around, I could recognize places. It seemed realistic, and it was really well optimized as well. That's the other thing. It looks realistic out and out. It really looks realistic, but it was so well optimized. With the computer that I had, everywhere was giving me around 30 frames per second. They had it locked to 30, so everywhere was giving me 30 frames a second when I tried out London. So I tried this out for about I'd say about 10 or 15 minutes. I was trying this out. When I got to London and I was flying around, took off from London City Airport, and I was flying around in one of the defaults, so the stock Cessna 172, and as I was flying around, the lowest frames I saw was 22. Now for London, that is superb. To see it drop from 30 to 22 is superb in London. And even when it dropped, it wasn't stuttering. So there is that as well. So they've done a really good job optimizing it, and it was only certain areas where I was looking that it was actually doing that. And they did say that when I was testing it wasn't completely completed. Well done me. It wasn't just finished yet. They were still polishing it, they were still adding things in, they were still optimizing it. So it's really nice to see that, and I am looking forward to actually trying that and giving you guys a demonstration of the TrueEarth or whatever it's called for England with Orbx. So thank you very much, Orbx, for demonstrating that product and showing us what it's like, and of course all the hard work that Orbx have put in to all their products. But I'm particularly looking forward to this Great Britain one, or England one. Anyway, the XM655 Maintenance and Preservation Society, I'm not going to talk too much about them, but I'm going to say XM655 is a Vulcan. As a matter of fact, it's the Vulcan bomber that JustFlight actually went to have a look at and actually took photos of and videos of to make their actual aircraft, as well as speaking with the engineers and the pilots of this aircraft. I'm talking about old wing commanders of this aircraft that flew this aircraft during its military operation. So they spoke with them, and this is where they're getting their information from. So I'm expecting a very realistic product from JustFlight. I did give their Vulcan in its current beta stage, or the stage that it was at the showcase, I did give it a fly. The Vulcan bomber is a very interesting aircraft to fly. I couldn't get to grips with it in the few minutes I had, but it was incredible to actually fly, and actually the sounds in it were brilliant. They really were. But back to the XM655 Maintenance and Preservation Society, I may be doing something with them, so make sure you stay tuned on this channel to see something pretty interesting. I hope I can pull this one off. When I can do this, you guys are going to be in for quite a treat. FS Reborn, spoke to them, and I will have an interview with them, so I'm not going to talk too much about that, but they have a couple of products that they're making for Flight Simulator, which really does improve the flight simulation experience. Also, of course, JustFlight, I'm not going to be talking about what they've got because there is an interview with them, but they do have the Vulcan bomber obviously coming out. They're working on a new Boeing 747 Classic, so they're working on that, and they spoke a little bit about that as well to me, and how they've actually put in the effort on that. Other places I spoke to, well, we've got the one I really want to mention is REMX Software with their Deadstick simulator. Really looking great. How far they've got in a year. As I said, there's going to be a full interview with him, with Chris Cheatham, who is the lead developer and I think the actual owner of REMX Software. So he is going to be talking you guys through, and talking me through, of course, what the system does, what its title does, how it works, as well as giving a demonstration. So make sure you stay tuned later on in this video for that interview. Other places that I had a look at, Fulcrum Simulator Controls, really nice, lovely people, and they've been developing some new hardware. They've been developing some new hardware, and they demonstrated one of their hardware kits, and a really clever idea they have as well. So I'll leave that interview for that to come up later on. Aside from that, there were a lot of people there. There really were a lot of people there. ProSim Aviation Research spoke with them as well. So they are the ones who did the moving map and the view and slew, things like that. And as you might remember, for Flight Sim World last year, I did say that the moving map was a really good add-on, but it just wasn't integrated as well. Well, he explained to me that in X-Plane they've got this for X-Plane as well, so I might be trying to take a look at it on X-Plane, seeing how it works. And with X-Plane you can actually run it off a separate PC, so that's really good. So I might be talking a little bit about that and showing that off a little bit in the future. As well as that, I spoke to a couple of people from Blue Sky FS, which you might remember, they made that wonderful Curtiss aircraft for Flight Sim World. Well, they have an aircraft for, or they have a couple of aircraft for DCS, is it DCS World, the military simulator? So I'm looking to download that simulator, and I will be getting my hands on that aircraft, hopefully, bringing a review for you guys. Anyway, that's enough of me talking. I am now going to swap over to some interviews, so make sure you guys enjoy those interviews. And if you did enjoy this video and the interviews, of course, that are coming up, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for, as I said, a lot more content coming up in the flight simulation world, as well as a few other things that I'm trying to bring to this channel in terms of flying and aviation in general, which you guys will really enjoy, I promise you that. Leave comments in the comments box below letting me know what you're looking forward to in 2018, the rest of this year, 2018, and of course 2019. For me, Deadstick has to be one of the top ones. Of course, the Orbx, TrueEarth, England stuff is also, the scenery there is really great, and I'm looking forward to see where X-Plane 11 goes, what more it brings, and there are a number of other things that I really want to see. the Vulcan bomber as well in X-Plane 11 from JustFlight, and a number of other things. Anyway, apart from that, you can support me on Patreon, www.patreon.com/ecgadget. Your supports would be appreciated, would help me actually go to more of these and to do more content in general. So not just aviation content, but all the other content I do on my channel and my social media and all of that kind of stuff. Speaking of social media, you can follow me on Twitch and Twitter and Instagram at ecgadgetlp, and of course, as I was saying, Twitch, twitch.tv/ecgadget for my Twitch channel. Right. Thank you very much for watching. Let's roll those interviews. Right, so I'm here with Flight Sim PM UK, and this is James Brown, and he's going to run me through some of these fantastic products that go on to, I believe, is it the SciTech and CH quadrants? Yep.
These are the boxes that I've designed. The two throttle quadrants drop in, and it turns it into a proper 45-degree angle where you can actually use the handle sets properly. That's a 747 handle set. I do the single box for the if somebody's only got one quadrant, or I do the Boeing colour for the Boeing colours. Then I've got the handle sets, which is 767, 78, 75, 777s. I've got different templates that people can have for the boxes. I do all the Airbus range for the A320, 330 and A380, and also the different flat kits for the 73 and the Airbus flat kit.
Fantastic.
And some of these items are from my colleague in Italy, and that is proper landing gear for the 737.
That's a solid bit of kit.
Yeah, and we also got the full blown quadrant over there.
Zoom in on that.
Fully working. Everything works on it.
Around that side to see that one a little bit better. It's me. Okay. So this is a fully working kit for the 7.3s?
Yep. And the trim wheels work. And also the
cut-off.
The cut-off, fuel cut-offs, yeah. Part brake works, and all the cut-off switches and the toga works.
Fantastic.
And the reversers.
Reverser was active as well. And that's just.
And it comes with a stand put together, so it makes it at the right height to actually sit as if it's in the real aircraft.
So pop into your flight sim, your home flight sim kit, and just be ready to use.
Yep. Yep. It's all one USB. That's it. Yep.
Fantastic.
You haven't asked a big question. How much?
That's £700 a day.
700.
Yeah. Normally about I think about 750 to 800 euros with all the postage and VAT on it.
But I mean, for somebody building a proper system, a full home simulator, that's something you definitely want to have in it.
Absolutely perfect kit.
Brilliant.
Feels like the real one.
Well, thank you very much, James.
Thank you very much. Okay.
So I'm here with FS Reborn, and Grant right here is going to run me through their two products, AI Lights Reborn and AI Traffic Reborn, I believe.
Yes. So first one with AI Lights. This works with whether you're flying online or offline. Takes into account your AI models. Works with default aircraft, UT Live, My Traffic, all of them. And so we've got all the planning lights, effects and textures that's coming into play. What the Pro version will allow you to do is define how big you want your textures to be, how big you want your effects to be, how intense you want it all. It'll also allow you to choose which kind of aircraft you want to model up as well. So you can do it via the 787s, 787-900s. We also have the option to, so let's go back there. It'll also tell you what kind of models you've got installed, how many generated effects we're using at each time.
So if we get it both integrated.
And here we can see what kind of effects sizes we're using. You also get an option for
they can choose the textures.
loads of textures there. These are just beacon lights. So you have the choice between older lighting systems, newer LEDs. You get anything you want there.
I am leaving.
See you later. And the other thing we can do as well is we can set it up, as I say, for various aircraft types. So this is the default global fleet, so it's got all the aircraft there. But what we can do here is if we just let the A318, we can see how we've got it set up just for that aircraft type. And we can see what kind of repaints we've got available to us there.
So everything can be changed per aircraft?
Per aircraft, per livery, whatever you like, per fleet. So this is fantastic for looking at new lighting systems. And if you take a look around, we can just see here the new lighting textures that are coming in with the beacons, the landing lights, taxi lights on it.
So if I can zoom in on that. Oh, there's one coming by right now.
One coming by right now. So here you'll see actually the dynamic lighting coming into play in terms of the how it reflects off the ground and the environment around it now. So the beacon light, you can just see it's now affecting the environment surrounding, including the aircraft. And you've just got the navigation lights coming past as well. So if we try to that, we shot it as well. So you can see how now the lights are coming into play close up.
It's actually really nice, that is.
And what we've done as well is we've gone in and we've actually got wingspan measurements for all different aircraft as well, all the Airbus aircraft, Boeing aircraft, to make sure the lights are in the correct positions. The other one is we've taken a look at flashing intensity. So with Boeing, you'll notice a single flash there. This is pretty much done, but we've remapped all this as well. So with Boeing we get that standard single flash, with Airbus we'll get that double flash on the strobes. So what we'll see as well is how the lights kind of fade away in the distance as it gets further away from us.
So watch this aircraft go through its takeoff. Hopefully.
Yes, we're going now. There it is. Typical one time you wanted to go, it stays.
I have another guy that is very good on the floor.
It's the one occasion where the towers actually told it to hold in the sim.
Yeah.
But I can definitely see the light difference. There it goes.
He's very good to find things like the wind control. You know, right? Yeah. The radius of the part you see the one that. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Okay, go. I'll see you in a bit. Yeah. Thank you very much.
So you'll notice now how the lights kind of like merge in and change as it gets further away. It wasn't getting in trouble.
Well, until the TAM gets in the way.
They can just see underneath it anyway.
I can see it taking off. It should just jump over the fin.
Is that the professional one?
Yeah, it's the professional, yeah. There we go. You can just see now how the lights are kind of like, the nav lights will fade off first, as they should.
Yeah, everything merges into one quite nicely.
Yeah, and we've got the new textures as well, with the new shapes and the strobe lights coming in as well.
That makes it far more realistic overall.
Yeah, I mean I was flying the other night actually, we just got the open beta on this, which is starting to close beta, sorry. And I had one aircraft flying underneath me at night, and just the intensity of it just coming through was just amazing.
That's really, really nice.
Actually, I don't know if you call that, but you actually saw that aircraft's landing lights reflecting off.
Actually, didn't catch it in the video, but I saw it for myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really good. So that's your AI Lights Reborn.
Yeah.
And then we've got AI Traffic Reborn.
So that's going to be the next project coming along. Once we've got all this developed and figured out, we're going to start working on the Traffic Reborn system. So what this is going to be is for those who fly offline. Many people know if you fly offline, you're going to see a lot of aircraft like mishmashing on the runways, like constantly the go-arounds, traffic disappearing, anything like that. What we're planning to do with this one is we're going to integrate SIDS and stars to default traffic. So it will give now proper separation from the AI traffic, it will then also, when an aircraft lands, instead of like forcing it to stop, backtrack on the runway, it will tell it where the next exit is for it to carry on forward and vacate. So the next traffic behind it will come in and be able to land or take off. That's going to basically increase your level of immersion with AI traffic whilst flying offline. That's going to be one we're looking forward to as well, definitely.
That'll definitely stop all the go-arounds and everything that you constantly used to get on ESP platforms.
Exactly. So we're actually talking with Navigraph to integrate the certain stars for us for this. So as I say, it's not just going to be flying online aircraft. When you're flying offline, we'll have full certain star procedures coming into the airports now, so you won't get that proper flow of traffic.
Okay, and in terms of release date and price points, do you have any information on that at the moment?
We don't have anything like that, unfortunately, because we've only just started the course based on this.
Right, okay.
One thing we don't want to do is we don't want to say to the public, yeah, it's going to be 6 months, 12 months, and then say we're delayed. And obviously, we're not going to give price points out yet until we're close to release, because we don't want people to say like, it should be this, it should be that.
Right.
But I will say the pricing will be quite good actually, from what we're thinking of. But a lot of time and effort's going into both of these. As I say, we've been working now for over 12 months just to get to the post basic stage of this.
Yep.
Rolls, our developer. He's
okay.
He's the owner of the company and the developer. Fantastic guy. Some of the people will know from the forums, from the freeware version. For those who haven't got it for P3D V4, if you go to the Reborn website,
right,
you will find a full freeware version of this, which will do the nav textures and the beacon and strolls.
Right, okay, fantastic.
Freeware to give you an idea of what the code will do.
Fantastic, so there you go, that's FS Reborn. The professional versions of AI Lights Reborn and AI Traffic Reborn coming soon. Trademarks. Right, I'm here with Martin from JustFlight, and he's going to run me through, hopefully, some of the products that are coming out soon on Prepared, FSX, if you still do it, and X-Plane 11. So
yeah, FSX Prepared and X-Plane. So next up, I think, is the Archer 3 for FSX Prepared. Speak up, yeah, which is the last of our PA-28s. And then we're going to do the Duchess 76 twin-engine piston. And that's going to be for FSX Prepared first, and then X-Plane 11. And then after that we've got the Vulcan, British Bomber, and the 747. So quite a busy lineup.
Very, very busy lineup. I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to the Vulcan, and especially when eventually when it comes into X-Plane. As I'm sure my viewers know, that I'm starting to go more into X-Plane, but I've known you guys and the products that you've been making for a very long time. You guys have seen my reviews on it. These guys are absolutely fantastic. I think the Hawk should be out. I should have some reviews out for the Hawk. So just talk about the sort of process that goes through, for example, making a Hawk or a Vulcan or something like that. The amount of research you have to do and the places you go to actually get this research.
Yeah, so the availability of the real-world aircraft is quite key to picking the projects we do. So if we can't get access to real aircraft, we'll tend not to do the project. This is vital, really. So yeah, once we've worked out the project, we'll go see the real aircraft, spend a day there, photograph every part of the aircraft, maybe 1,000 pictures of every panel, record sounds, speak to the ground crew and air crew, get as many manuals as we can, and then we come back and then the modelling work starts.
Right.
So that's a big part of it. So using those reference photos, my colleague Mark will make it look like the real thing, right down to the wear and tear and the rivets. And then it's my job to start coding it.
Right, so you're one of the main programmers on...
Yeah, so I do the project management and the coding.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm in charge of commissioning the projects, working out what we're going to make, as well as coding.
I mean, that's quite interesting. Speaking of, you were talking about reference photos. I was just speaking over to the X655 guys down the other side of the hangar, and they told me that you took something like 5.5 gigabytes worth of photos or something.
Video, yeah.
So I mean that just shows the amount of effort you put into these kind of
so it was about a year
products.
Ago. Pretty much a year ago, we went down to see their Vulcan, and yeah, we loads of video, loads of photos, and it's taken a year to get to where we are now.
So I mean, from now to, I mean, I've seen some of the demos and previews of the Vulcan over here. When do you think that product's looking to come out for? I understand it's coming out for Prepared and FSX first. Is there any time frame or
next couple of months?
Next couple of months.
Yeah,
right, I look forward to that.
About a year to 13 months project.
Right. Okay. So, and each project, I guess, is around that kind of. Actually, I suppose this
Depending
is
on the complexity level.
Yeah.
So something like the 152 might be 7 or 8 months. Something like a fully fledged airliner could be 2 years. You know.
Wow.
So we try and do a variety of.
It's definitely a lot. And then the biggest question I have, obviously, for me as from X-Plane is the Vulcan starting off in prepared and FSX. When would we see it in X-Plane? I understand the Hawk took a while to actually get converted. It was their, is it Sandra Design that you worked with? It was their first conversion, I believe, of a jet. So could we expect the Vulcan to be a little bit faster, or do you think with the complexity of the Vulcan itself?
It's a complex aircraft, obviously. They're always a learning curve. We'll definitely put it in there. All of our in-house stuff that we're doing, the plans go in there eventually.
Right.
Timeline-wise, I'm not sure. We're probably doing the Archer and the Duchess first, then probably the Vulcan after that. But yeah, they're obviously more experienced doing GA stuff.
Yes.
So the Hawk's a real learning curve. But yeah, no, I think it should be hopefully within the next year. Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, thank you very much for your time, Martin.
Cheers.
Okay, with Fulcrum Simulator Controls, and this is Chris, and he is the...
I'm the owner of Fulcrum Simulator Controls.
Fantastic.
So the aim of Fulcrum was to develop a realistic and affordable yoke. I felt there was a bit of a gap in the market, so the idea is to have something that's fairly high quality but still affordable. Currently working towards my PPL, and I wanted to create something that felt much more like I was experiencing. So the key features on this really are the realistic amount of travel. So it rotates 90 degrees each way, and it's got a realistic travel range on the elevator. It's incredibly smooth, ball bearings throughout, Hall effect sensors. Now this is just a prototype. The design's pretty much finished, but it does look a little bit rough because it is a pre-production model. Hoping to go into production early next year, so probably 4 months. And a price point where it's for an enthusiast, so it's not cheap. It's for somebody that's simming seriously and will spend some money, but it's a lot cheaper than the current high-end yoke. So we're looking at, I'm hoping around about £400, including VAT. But I'm waiting on production costs, so we'll see. That's the target.
So the construction of the actual yoke, I know at the moment the prototype said it's not quite finished at the moment, but what's the final construction? I'm assuming all metal?
Yeah, it's all metal. So at the moment, this is a 3D print with metal parts added. The final one is going to be cast aluminium. Metal case and all metal mechanism inside. Excuse me, and bearings throughout. Spring mechanism uses a couple of different types of spring, linear and torsion. Gives a nice progressive feel.
In general then, I mean, this is something that you would want to mount in a proper serious sim. This is not something that you just want to pop at home, connect up to a table. This is something...
Not necessarily, so there'll be some mounting options with this. So this, so I've been flying so long, I think I've actually just run out of fuel.
We're about to see an emergency landing.
There's a couple of different mounting options. So it has threaded inserts underneath, so you can drill and mount it to a desk, which is what we've done here, and then bound it down. The final production one has a vertical front and has a fairly sort of standard table clamp. So under the table, tighten it up. So you can mount it on a table, you can clamp it to a table, build it in. The case is actually going to be quite a bit smaller as well. It's probably an inch off either side, an inch shorter and an inch lower. So it's going to be a bit smaller than that.
Fantastic. That's actually a really good emergency landing there.
Thank you. And also it appears as standard Windows controller, so you can use it with any sim. So Ectoplane, Aeroflight, Prepared, FSX, you know, or just Windows sees it as a normal joystick controller, and you can just map any function you want.
So no special drivers required or anything?
No, just Windows drivers.
Great.
All the switches are remappable, so you can go hat, elevator, airline trim, or whatever you want, you know, they're remappable.
And I would think that this is just the start of what perhaps you're looking to do.
Yeah, so one of the features we're planning is interchangeable yokes. So it's a modular system. So you keep the base and then just change the yokes. You buy the next release will be a commercial Boeing style, that sort of thing. So it's simply a case of undo the retaining bar, this comes off, unplug it, connect the new one up. Same interface, just remap your buttons and off you go.
Which would make sense if you wanted to swap between aircraft and get that realistic feel on each aircraft.
So it will, you know, it will map the hat across whatever yoke you put on there, and whatever trims. So once it's launched, we will look at them following up with an add-on yoke.
Fantastic.
And after that, we shall see.
We'll see what happens. Well, thank you very much for your time. That's Fulcrum Simulator Controls, www.fulcrumsim.com. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Right, I'm here with Deadstick Bushflight Simulator and Remex Software's Chris Cheetham.
Hi there.
And he's hopefully going to be talking me through the Deadstick Bushflight Simulator and what it's all about, how far it's come in the past year, and what we're going to see next.
Sounds good.
All right.
So you'll get the fire away, I'll give you the tour, and then if you've got any questions along the way, you can do it. So with Deadstick, the idea is we're trying to simulate the experience of being a pilot rather than just a pilot. And the way we do that is it's all first person, so you can walk around and interact with the aircraft. Do all your pre-flight checks and also loading and unloading cargo. So if I open up the cowling here, you can see all the engine components, and we actually simulate all the wear and tear on these, and it's persistent and it's based on how you fly. So if you fly the plane badly or you push the engine hard, it's going to affect how the engine gets damaged and how it wears out. So a quick walk around, we can also check all the fuel and all the other components that you would do on a real aircraft if you were doing a full walk-around. If I run around here, I'll demonstrate some of the cargo loading. So when you fly, you have a map screen, you have jobs that are available, and the idea is you're delivering cargo from A to B, and this is just a small example of some of the cargo you might deliver. And then the way you do that is by loading it manually in the aircraft. So I can click on an item here and place it. And as I place items, that affects all the weight and balance of the aircraft, so you have to be aware of that as you're placing items, placing them in such a way that the centre of gravity and weight goes to the limit.
So I noticed that you just removed a rear seat, so does that mean you'll be able to transport passengers from A to B, hopefully, as well?
Eventually, yes. Passengers, I think, will be really important. There's quite a lot of technical and art challenge that comes with passengers, so for now it's strictly cargo, but the intention will be for passengers.
Right, the intention is for passengers as well. So it's already, it looks like the plan's already there, it's already built in, there's a seat there ready to go, so it's always good to see forward thinking.
So actually, before I jump in, I'll just show you the customization system. So as you earn money, you can use that to upgrade your aircraft, and that might be purely cosmetic things, so you want to change the livery of the plane. Or it can be entirely functional. Obviously, this is all about backcountry flying and flying off airport. So with that, you can start kitting the plane out, put big tunnel tires on, and you can change the performance of the aircraft. Start putting aerodynamic features on.
And all this have real functions, so they will work as you would have expected. So if you change up slats for vortex generators, it will actually affect the aircraft as though it actually has vortex generators.
So you can kind of, as with most things, you can either tweak the plane for speed or you can tweak it for short takeoff and landing performance. So it's up to you how you want to do that. We don't constrain you. We don't make any decisions for you. It's really up to you what you do.
Brilliant.
We come around and jump inside now. So the most important thing with this is where we want to make it gamey, we want to give you a purpose to your flying, but we don't want to dumb down the simulation. So all the flight dynamics we try to make as accurate as possible, and in the cockpit we want to make everything as accurate as possible. So everything you see is fully simulated, it can be interacted with. If I turn the engine on, if I turn the master switch on here, you'll see that's drawing electrical load, that's actually draining the battery now, so you need to be aware of that. We've got an alternator in here which is fully simulated, that can fail, you need to be aware of that. All the electrical loads are simulated. You can see if I start turning lights on, you'll see the load on the...
Yep, I can see the ammeters showing a lower ampage.
So another little example that we've kind of hacked in to show how it works is I've got my avionics master here.
Okay.
You can turn that on, we've now got extra load as well. I've now programmed it just for demonstration purposes. If I turn the transponder on, that then overloads and pops the circuit breaker. So if we look up here now, you can see the radio circuit breaker's pop.
Yep, I can see that, yep.
Try and push it in, it won't go in. Well, it's popping again.
Because it's overloaded, so switch it off, go back up there, pop it in, it should be fine.
Push that in and you can see the effect it changes the load. So
brilliant, so everything is integrated with each other, that whole system is actually working really well. That's actually quite impressive.
And that translates to everything inside the aircraft as well. So we're simulating vacuum pumps, we're simulating gyros, the magnetos, all those things can fail. They've all got wear and tear as you fly, and you need to be aware of them as you're flying around.
So I would say something like it would be important, for example, to make sure that the pitot tubes are heated up correctly. Anti-ice might be a problem, or cold conditions might be a problem.
So if it's cold outside, the pitot can ice up, and then you'll lose. Depending on how it ices up, when you lose your airspeed, it might just stay static, or it might turn into an altimeter, depending on which hole's blocked.
Yep.
Let's start the engine. We don't need to prime it for this. I suppose we could do it to show you. So again,
right. Yep. So you've got primer, and I see you've got a carburetor heater as well.
Carb heat there, so the carb can ice up. You need to be aware of that, depending on the relative humidity.
For those people who don't know old cars, carburetors were in old cars, they were a nightmare. There are also still in small aircraft, and old aircraft still have carburetors in them. They are a nightmare to work with. That's why a lot of cars went to a direct injection. But these aircraft still have them, which means that in here it's simulated correctly.
That's right. Yep. So to start the engine, I'm just going to turn the key now, and then we can start taxiing up. I got it done. Just the fuselage.
So now you taxi out of your hangar, and you're straight over to the actual runway.
Yeah, so what I'll do here again is to show you a good example of the flight dynamics. A nice test is to, we put the power up, we can actually start flying the tail, so all that's simulated, and you can actually, if you're good, you can taxi around, you can do the whole bush taxiing thing and taxi around with the tail up. It's not the easiest thing to do, particularly when you're talking. So in fact, I will just take off here rather than try and fly around. So we'll get the tail up, build up a little bit of speed, and then dump some flapping, get up in there, there we go.
So I can already see that the flight dynamics are pretty good on this because of the way that aircraft took off. It almost looked like there was some amount of ground effects.
There is ground effect.
It almost looked like there was some sort of ground effect. So if I can tell that just from watching you fly it, then obviously for actually flying it, that must be quite a good feeling the aircraft trying to actually suck itself back into the ground with you.
Yeah, so, again, my background, I've been flying for about 10 years. It was really fun to try and make the flight model feel as good as possible. So, we're adding these gamey elements around it, but we want to stay true to the simulation in terms of the flight model.
Yeah, I think that's really a good approach. Now, I understand that this is not just going to be for hardcore enthusiasts. You're looking to make this for games as a game in a sense as well. So, to appeal to sort of a wider audience.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And as I say, just trim it. The way that we do that isn't through dumbing down the flight dynamics or the controls. We just try to pick aircraft that are simple enough that as a beginner to the genre, you only need to worry about the master switch and turning the mags. Carb might catch you out, but essentially it's a very simple aircraft to manage. We're not dumbing down experience. We're just trying to select aircraft initially that are simple enough to get into it that way.
So in that sense, what you're really doing is you're saying, right, if we can get an aircraft that's easy enough to fly, give it the simulation aspects of it, but make it appeal to somebody out there that just wants to play games, and then give it the whole gaming aspect of delivering cargo from A to B, you know, actually landing in certain locations. I understand that you can land in the middle of the wild, middle of the bush, things like that. That's what you get, and that's where the actual gaming idea comes from. Also, I've just noticed, and I'm just going to zoom in on this, that tail wheel is spinning in the wind.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's actually, if that's actually the wind that's causing that to spin, that's
probably a bit
really...
I'm not sure with the weight of the wheel it should quite do that, but yeah, it is.
I mean, that's still, it's impressive because in the sense that it shows that every aspect of this aircraft is being simulated whilst you're flying. So every little bit is on its own. Every little component's on its own. So that's a really good thing. And what, the cloud system?
Yeah, so the clouds are using TrueSky.
I thought so.
Yeah. So and we've got a full time of day in here now, so you can see all the cloud shadows and everything on the terrain, and then you can get some really nice lovely, a bit too high now. Lovely sunsets with it.
Yeah, I mean, I was just looking at that, and that system, that TrueSky system. First of all, I know how good that TrueSky system is, but just seeing it in here with the volumetric clouds, it looks like you've got the volumetric clouds working correctly in this, and that's really impressive to see. I mean, you can see as we're flying through this.
So that's a nice thing. If you don't get that popping, the clouds are either you can see that there's a really smooth transition, a misty transition as you go in and out of the clouds. You get these really nice fluffy cloud bases.
And we've also got atmospheric hazing as well. I can see earlier as well. So
haze, it's all being simulated.
So that's really, really nice. Very promising game/simulator. So that is really good. And I've seen a few demonstrations today about how this aircraft can be damaged, and the damage modeling on the aircraft, where every bit of this aircraft can actually be damaged. Not just the systems can be overloaded, but also the propeller can be bent, the wings can fall off, the flaps can fall off. It will have actual damage like that, and I think that's something that's quite unique. That's something that's quite unique. And
something, if we really want the aircraft to feel like it's your own and tell a story. So rather than you damage a wing and then it just swaps out to a damaged wing model, we really want every kind of bump to happen in the location. So we've taken a lot of inspiration from racing games where they have that whole kind of dynamic deformation system. I'll show now. We just had an engine failure.
I mean, it's more from, I feel like maybe it feels like something from a simulation, a racing simulation, flat spots on your tyres, splitter damage, rear wing damage, things like that, bumps and scrapes. And since a racing car is very similar to an aircraft in terms of aerodynamics, when you break something on a racing car, you really break it. And similarly, we've got things, you break something on this. For example, well, there you go, you guys have just seen. That plane is now nothing but a fuselage with a tail fin and a tailplane. There's nothing else left of it. But, that would then damage, that would affect it, I'm assuming, because let's say a flap fell off, you would then have difficulty flying the aircraft as you drop the flap. One wing would always want to be pulling more because the camber and the shape of that one wing would have changed, and the other wing would still have the same chord, same camber, and it would not want to perform in the same fashion. So that brings in, I'm assuming that's really the gaming challenge as well. Keep your aircraft in good condition. When it goes wrong, you're in this whole heap of trouble. That's exciting.
Yeah. So we have there's a whole kind of risk-reward element there. Is how much do you push flying the plane when it's damaged versus taking it back to maintenance and repairing it? If you get in this situation, you have to salvage the aircraft back to the hangar. So you pay a salvage penalty, and then you get your wreck of a plane dumped in the maintenance hangar. Then you have to repair it, and then you can fly.
Rebuild it. Okay. That's brilliant. I'm really, really looking forward to that. Thank you so much for your time, Chris. And there you go, Deadstick Bush Flight Simulator. That's www.deadsticksimulator.com. Go check them out.